Good afternoon. Thanks for letting me visit with you electronically. I know that I have a lot of old friends in the audience, and I wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on here in Washington, or what's not going on, unfortunately, and also talk about a little bit of what you're working on and some specific issues. The first thing is what's going on down here, and of course it's all about the sequester and the fiscal problems of the federal government. Is pretty frustrating. Everybody is trying to find a solution, but so far it's been elusive. There are discussions going on here in the Senate, and I can't speak for the House. I know the President is pressing in various different ways, both publicly and privately, to trying to find a solution to this. It is a serious problem. Don't be misled. The estimate from one of the universities down here in Virginia that looked at the whole country estimated about a 5,000 to 7,000 job loss in Maine if we don't solve this problem. It's going to start slowly, but accelerate through the month of March if we don't find a solution. And it's going to begin almost immediately at places like the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard with furlough days and those kinds of things, and it will ripple through out into the larger economy. So this is a serious problem, and it's a stupid problem. It's one that we shouldn't be facing. March 1st is a totally artificial deadline. It doesn't mean anything, and yet this sequester idea of the arbitrary across-the-board cuts, both in defense and non-defense discretionary spending, was designed to be irresponsible. The idea was it was going to be so dumb that it would provoke the Congress and the President to reach a larger deal to solve this problem. That didn't happen, and now here we are. Perhaps the reality of it is going to press the leadership and both sides of the aisle to find a solution. I'm doing what I can, poking and prodding and talking to different senators and seeing if we can't come up with a plan. But that's where it stands now. Unfortunately, it looks like there will not be a bipartisan plan, at least by this weekend. The Democratic caucus does have a plan that's going to the floor. There will be one or two Republican plans, but it doesn't look like any of them are going to get the required number of votes to make something happen. And of course, the House of Representatives is very strong, and they're not budging at this point. So a lot of discussion. Hopefully we're going to be able to find some kind of balanced plan that includes some tax reform and the generation of new revenues, but also cutting of expenses in a serious way. I would prefer a big deal, the so-called grand bargain, that solves this problem for the next 10 years so we don't have to keep revisiting it every 6 months or 8 months and having another crisis. But that's the situation right now. Now let me get to what you're up to. And of course, you know, from my time as governor, that I'm very supportive of the forest products industry, and also supportive of the outdoor recreational industry in Maine in terms of conservation easements, providing support for snowmobile trails, providing support to inland fisheries and wildlife, and all the work that goes to make Maine such a special place. Of particular interest to the forest products industry is an issue involving the U.S. Department of Agriculture that doesn't consider finished lumber as a bioproduct because it was made before 1973. I laugh because it makes so little sense. I'm going to be supporting and probably co-sponsoring a bill that's been sponsored by Senator Mark Pryor of Arkansas and Roy Blunt of Missouri that basically will take care of this problem. And it seems to me it's one that we really ought to. I have no idea what the opposition, if any, will be. It seems to me it's so common sense it ought to just fly through around here, but I've learned that that's not necessarily going to be the case. But I am going to sponsor that bill and join with Pryor and Blunt. By the way, Pryor's a Democrat, Blunt's a Republican. That's a good sign to try to correct this problem in the current designation, because it will help the industry to have its products have that label and have preferential treatment in the marketplace. So that's an issue that hopefully I'm going to be able to help a little bit on down here. And there are many others, but to come back to the beginning, a lot of this really is going to, a lot of our time and energy is going into this issue of the financial situation. If we could come to a consensus or even something close to that, reach a solution, I think it would be tremendous for the Maine economy, for the U.S. economy and the Maine economy, and it would show the people of Maine and the people of the country that yes, indeed, we can make decisions and move on, and that's certainly the approach that I'm taking. So hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we'll see some discussions and some possible solutions that will achieve some resolution of this issue, so that we can get going. I think finally, all I want to say is to thank you all for everything that you've done to make Maine such a special place. It's funny, down here I talk to so many people, and everybody has a Maine story. Either they went to summer camp in Maine where they were kids, or they had their honeymoon somewhere in Maine, or they visit Maine in the in the summer, and they all have this kind of misty-eyed affection for our state. And I like to tell them that, you know, they think all year long about their 2 weeks in Maine, and we get to live there, and what a special place it is. And the work that you do in the recreational, outdoors, forest products, forest resource community is so important to maintaining that spirit of what makes Maine so special. So thank you for what you're doing. Thanks for allowing me to join you in this electronic format. I hope you'll visit me when you're in Washington. We have a new custom, a new deal down here where every Wednesday morning at 10 that we're in session, I have a coffee. It's Capital Coffee with Angus, and people from, anybody from Maine who's in Washington for whatever reason is invited to come by. Homemade blueberry muffins, and we have a wonderful group of people. People from my staff, many of whom are from Maine, always join us, and want to invite you to take advantage of that, or to come by and visit me in the office. Keep in touch. You hired me, and I'm here to do the best that I can on your behalf, and it's an honor to be here, believe me. And I look forward to seeing many of you along the way. I don't know whether it'll be in the next 2 or 3 weeks or months or in the summer, but in any case, thanks for what you're doing for Maine, and thanks for keeping in touch. Let's keep going.